God here, come with another video, and today we're doing what if Deku had Incursio. This is probably one of the only what if I'm gonna be doing in My Hero Academia. And honestly, it all depends on how you guys take what ifs on My Hero Academia. If you guys want me to keep doing My Hero Academia what ifs, tell me down below. But basically, in this timeline, we're gonna be discussing what would happen if Deku had Incursio. Now, if you guys don't know, Incursio is a special weapon from a show called Akame ga Kill. It's a really awesome show, so yeah. Basically what it does, it increases the stats and speed and gives them weapon, and you have the ability to turn invisible, and basically it just gets more awesome as you get stronger. But in order to handle it, you have to be very, very fit and like very physically strong, as well as having a mental willpower to use it. So Deku at a young age would actually figure out that he's a lot different from normal kids. He was born with a lot stronger bone frame, so he could handle his quirk better, and his skeleton is just overall stronger than basically any kid his age. He's probably got the amount of strength in his bones as a 4-year-old as a normal 20-year-old would have. So he's pretty strong compared to any of his other kids, with muscle mass of that of a 20-year-old. So yeah, he's pretty dang strong as a kid. So he actually goes to the office, like the doctor's office, and his mom is expecting his quirk to be like super strength or something like that. But then he realized that there was lots of iron in his blood, and that if he maybe focused hard enough, something would appear. But until then, people just thought his quirk was like natural strength. Deku would also be faster in this timeline, and he'd be respected by Bakugo as for having such a powerful quirk, because he's a lot stronger than any other kid, and he can basically beat any other kid. He's also pretty tall for his age as well, coming out at about 4'11" at the age of 4. So he's pretty tall for a 4-year-old, and it kind of makes him feel empowering a little bit, and so he's actually probably pretty popular with everyone. Now we're going to do a time skip of 10 years, and Deku is going to already have figured out that his power is Incursio. And he's basically as strong as, let's say, a powerful Kirishima in hardened form in his base form. So he's basically very powerful and is like really OP without the Incursio. But with the Incursio, Deku is basically unrivaled with kids in his class. Even Bakugo can't even beat him. He can't even stand up to Deku. With Incursio on, he's maybe about at the level of 40% of All Might's prime, which is honestly really strong compared to a lot of other people. So yeah, Deku would actually not be sad on that day. His book would not get destroyed by Bakugo, as when his teacher would be like, "Ah, Deku, aren't you trying to go to UA as well?" Bakugo would say, "Man, he's my rival. I can't let him beat me." Deku would then say yes, and also Deku is a lot more confident, which also means a little bit more confident with the ladies, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, Deku would actually end up taking a shortcut home, as he is still a little bit of a fanboy over like the bigger heroes. So he'd end up taking a shortcut home when a sledge villain would then come and try to steal his body, and then he would get saved by All Might, even though he didn't really need it. So yeah, All Might would save him, and then he would actually just jump on All Might like cannon, and he wouldn't actually be worried about it because he's actually like really strong to take long falls with an Incursio if he needed to. So yeah, he's not really worried about that. So when All Might says that, he is just kind of like, yeah, my quirk lets me take a lot less damage. And then he asks All Might the big question if he thinks he'd become a great hero like him. And All Might says that yes, with a powerful quirk like his, she should be able to be one of the best heroes ever. All Might would then, after making sure Midoriya is all happy and stuff, Midoriya would accidentally use his quirk and just jump off the building, as not to want to take the stairs. Deku would also figure out about all of All Might's scars, and thinks of the sword. Deku would see explosions as the sludge villain was dropped out of All Might's pocket when he jumped onto him. So he would actually head over there, and he would actually get there and see that all of the heroes were actually not being able to do anything. On pure instinct alone, while I was watching and couldn't do anything, he would then transform into Incursio, speeding at heights he's never even reached before, topping out at 45% of All Might's prime power, and he punches straight through with his awesome sword. And he stashes right through, makes a huge air wave that knocks the sludge villain off of Bakugo, and then he puts him in a cup again, gives him to the police, and then gets away as fast as possible. Since people didn't actually know his quirk, because his quirk actually conceals him, so yeah, he can't really be found. And since people don't know his real identity, all except All Might, who would then come and see him later that day and ask him if he wanted to take on his power. Deku, in this case, would actually say no, and that he's strong enough without it. He'll become a great hero without any handouts. He'll do it on his own. Now, the reason he said no was because he felt that, like, it would kind of be taking All Might's power, and he doesn't really want to do it because he wants to make his own way without stealing from anyone else. He would then say to give it to your original candidate. I'm sure he's a lot better than me. He would then say, okay, well, if you're not going to accept my power, at least let me train you over the 9 months. Deku would then say, okay, sure thing. He would then say, where are we training? Before the UA exams. He would then say, meet me at the dirtiest beach in town tomorrow at 6 a.m. Deku would then agree, and then we time skip to the next day. Deku's like way stronger than he ever was in canon in base form. I would say he's actually about, on base, 5% of All Might's power that Deku had. Like, comparing him to, like, the Stain Deku, like, the 5% of Stain Deku. He actually does have a little bit of martial arts, especially in, like, the sword style, because, you know, he uses either a lance or a sword in the Incursio. So he actually does have quite a bit of martial arts in, like, blade combat. He would then be told to try to clear the breach within the 9 months. Deku would actually clear it within the first month, as he is way stronger and can move everything really easily. All Might would be amazed, and then he would just say that he's going to do combat training with All Might and some other heroes that he asked him to, as to just get experience and make sure he's ready for UA. And then we're going to have a time skip of 8 months, and it's the day before the UA exams. Deku is actually in the next level of Incursio, as well as can hold the invisibility power for about 20 minutes. And the reason he can hold it for that long is because he's a lot stronger than Tatsume was. Physically, he's about at 10% All Might power in base form. So basically, he's really overpowered and could match Bakugo without even using his quirk. Also, he figured out a few new things. He could take blades out of his forearms, the under part of his forearms, as blades whenever he wielded them to would actually just slide through as if his arms were a sheath for them. As well as he can grab his sword from his back, sort of similar. It stabs into his back, sort of forming a sheath, but it's painless. So he can use his swords and weaponry without actually using his like full power suit. So that can actually save him a lot of energy. So yeah, Deku would actually go to the UA exam, and he'd actually be practicing a lot for this thing, so he actually gets really good, and he gets a really good score of about 90%, which is honestly really good for the UA test, considering it's very, very hard. Now time for the combat test, and Deku actually gets first place, still saving on Chaku, but when it comes time to actually face the biggest robot, the 0-pointer, he actually does a huge slash with his sword, and he honestly just slices right through it, easily. He's that strong. His max power right now is about 70% of All Might's at max power, but then he can't use his quirk for like a month, or like 2 weeks or something like that. He basically has like a huge recharge rate needed after that. And even then, he can only activate that ultimate ability of his for 5 minutes. Also, I forgot to mention earlier in the story that his quirk is unstealable. It's like got this thing where it's like attached to him, so it can't be stolen. So yeah, we all wait. He's waiting for the results when All Might personally comes to give him and says that he's been accepted to UA, and he's actually been accepted at the top of the class as he saved someone and got the highest battle points, around 300 compared to Bakugo's 187. He beat Bakugo by quite a bit. So yeah, little quick disclaimer, guys. Instead of max power being 70% of All Might's ability, I'm going to go with it being at 40, and early in the stream when I said he maxed out at 45, I'm going to change that to 25%, and right now his max power at base form is going to be 5%, because I feel like I kind of made him a little too overpowered for so early in the story. Thank you guys for watching, and later. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys like this My Hero Academia What If. Let me know if you guys want me to keep doing My Hero Academia What Ifs. And so I also forgot to mention, guys, this is, you guys can leave if you don't want to watch the video, but for my posting things, I'm gonna try to post as many videos as possible over the next like three or so days, as I'm gonna be like as I'm going on like a mini vacation with my family. So yeah, I'll be leaving for about like 3 or 4 days. So I'll be posting for 3 or 4 days, a lot. So hopefully this video is gonna get out, and it'll be like almost a double upload, almost. So yeah, that'll be happening. I'm gonna be recording a whole bunch more videos, and then I'm just gonna edit them all and upload them all. So yeah, guys, with that being said, Anime God signing off.